A single bottle of beer for €200. A kilo of Panda tea for €50,000. Or a packet of sugar for over €30. How do everyday foods become luxury commodities? We start in Oberasbach, Franconia, with the master of strong beer, Georg Tscheuchner. His pride and joy, the Weltmeister Bock with 57% alcohol content. The strongest beer in the world, brewed according to the purity law, costs an incredible €200 per bottle. But what makes up the price? After all, 15 normal crates of beer cost just as much. At first, we can't see anything special. The brewing process is the same as always. The individual ingredients are also quite normal. It takes at least 2 years from the grain to the finished beer, and I need about 50 litres of base beer to make 1 litre of Weltmeister Bock. And of course, a lot of energy, time and patience. 2 years! An average Pilsner is ready to drink after just a few weeks. Painstakingly, Georges has to reduce the luxury beer to a kind of concentrate. Tscheuchner couldn't live from his Weltmeister Bock alone. It's just for prestige. Georges mainly brews beers with 13% alcohol. With his luxury variant, he dreams of polishing up the reputation of beer, away from the image of cheapness. Georges tinkered with the strongest beer in the world for years, raising his personal best mark from 31 to almost 60%. Fans from all over the world love him for it. The secret of the Weltmeister Bock lies in the freezer at 50 degrees below zero. The yeast bacteria that produce the alcohol only manage 11%. Georges has to freeze and thaw the beer again and again. Because water freezes more readily than alcohol, Georges takes advantage of this physical law and skims off ice crystals containing lots of water. In this way, he reduces the water content. What remains is a concentrate with a higher alcohol content. At the end of 2 years of hard work, around 40 bottles are ready, and they are literally snatched out of Tscheuchner's hands. But at 57% alcohol, how much beer flavour can still be tasted? Let's hear the expert's opinion. It's very fruity and of course very alcoholic. That's no wonder, it's written on the label. But the alcohol enhances the aromas very strongly and very beer-like. You couldn't say it's a spirit now, but you can still clearly recognize that it's beer. We carry out the test. Our test persons don't know what they're drinking and how it's made. What does it taste like, and how much do they think it costs? Spicy, tart, strong, masculine.
The bitterness has gone, and I think that's good.
What would I pay for the bottle? €12?
3-4 euros, yes.
Ja.
So nobody expects €200?
Nein.
No, you're joking.
Wow. Okay.
If I can afford it someday, I'd buy a bottle like that. The noble beer from Franconia, despite 57% alcohol, it still tastes like beer. And Georges Tscheuchner is already working on the next, even stronger Weltmeister Bock. Anyanshi from China sells the world's most expensive tea. His cap gives it away a bit. It's Panda tea. We meet him in front of a breeding station in Chengdu, the self-proclaimed panda capital. Panda bears are a national symbol of China. They're protected from extinction in sanctuaries and reserves. The fluffy bears delight tourists from all over the world. But An Yanxi is interested in something completely different. Panda bears only process about 30% of the bamboo's nutritional value. 70% remains undigested in their feces. Every day they eat bamboo stalks grown organically without any chemical toxins. So it's the panda droppings that are crucial. Panda tea is basically green tea, a popular drink in the world's most populous country, in combination with panda poo. It's a luxury food. The dried leaves are sold in small packets. A cup of tea from the most expensive harvest costs the equivalent of about €160. An Yanxi uses the panda dung as fertilizer for his tea plants. In the nursery, the waste is burnt, producing toxic carbon dioxide. In the tea fields, it's put to good use. The panda caps, by the way, are meant to emphasize the connection between humans, animals, and plants. We only pick the small tips and the small leaves of the tea, as has been our tradition for thousands of years. We don't use scissors, just our hands. Only women work between the rows of plants. Their delicate hands do not damage the leaves as easily as men's hands do. An Yanxi is visibly proud of his strange idea. Panda droppings as fertilizer for green tea is my patent. I own the rights. I was the first and I own the copyright. I am the panda tea inventor. For the many women working on the plantation, it's hard work. The baskets of manure they spread on the huge fields weigh 30 kilos. For An Yanxi, it's a clever way to get rich, isn't it? Even if I sell all the tea, I'll never become a millionaire. No way. Besides, only the first harvest from spring is so expensive and limited. I don't earn much. The employees and the production of the tea cost a lot of money. Again, we really want to know, so we try it out on our unsuspecting testers. Does it taste like a luxury product? It's a bit boring.
It's not a very intensive taste. Tastes like a normal green tea.
More like black tea for me, a bit stronger. It's well known that opinions differ on taste. But still, a price tip?
€3.50. €4, no more.
Come on, this is the most expensive tea in the world.
€160. Oh man, I'll try it again in a minute.
Well then, enjoy. For our last stop, we go to Switzerland, to Lake Zurich. This is where Cynthia and Remo live, the inventors of designer sugar. A packet of sugar costs more than €30. What makes it so expensive? You take water and sugar and boil the mixture. It looks very simple. So what's so difficult about doing this? Timing is very important. If you let the sugar heat up too long, it will burn and turn into caramel. If you don't leave it on the cooker long enough, it becomes too runny and you can't use it either. Ah, the right consistency. You need to have a sure instinct. At the right moment, the sugar water is poured into small molds. Now the sugar has to cool down. The two carefully brush edible gold and silver leaf onto the platelets, which have been moistened again. This kind of sugar cube has been around since 1927, and we thought we'd give it a new design, a new touch. And the two of them can make a very good living from it. The sugar is sold exclusively via the internet. With part of the money they earn with their invention, more than €30 per packet, they support aid projects all over the world. The question that remains to be answered is, what do these white round things taste like? Well, I don't think it tastes that extremely sweet. It's a bit different.
I don't think it tastes extremely sweet.
And how much can it cost? To be honest, I like the taste of normal sugar cubes better, so I wouldn't buy it at all.
5 cents?
Not quite. 60 times more.
Oh, €3 for a piece of sugar? I mean, it's got a pretty rose on it, but I still think it's a bit expensive.
The luxury sugar from Zurich. It is nice to look at, with edible roses and gold leaf. But, in our test, no one was prepared to pay €3 apiece. Whether it's luxury panda tea from China for €160, sugar cubes from Switzerland for €3, or noble beer from Franconia. You don't need these luxury foods, but their success proves the inventors right.